You've been fighting anxiety wrong. Your vagus nerve holds the master key. At first, I thought I was losing my mind, honestly. I'd wake up after a full 8 hours of sleep, feeling like I'd pulled an all-nighter, my body heavy and unresponsive. My brain, a thick, persistent fog, struggling to grasp simple ideas, losing words mid-sentence. My stomach was a constant battlefield, sometimes churning with a nameless anxiety, other times completely shut down, refusing food. Then there were the aches, a dull throb in my lower back, persistent tension in my shoulders and neck that no amount of massage could touch. I'd find myself snapping at the people I loved most, an intense, irrational anger bubbling up over the smallest things like a misplaced remote. And just as quickly as that anger appeared, I'd crash, utterly drained, collapsing onto the couch, overwhelmed by a profound sense of apathy towards everything. My to-do list, often just a few items, felt paralyzing. I used to tell myself, it's just stress. Everyone feels this way. Or you're not disciplined enough. You're lazy. Just push through. I tried every self-help solution out there. Meditation apps, elaborate green smoothies, strict workout routines, even cutting out coffee entirely. Nothing worked. In fact, sometimes these solutions just piled on more pressure, adding another layer of failure to my already heavy load. This went on for years, a slow, insidious erosion of my sense of self, my energy, my joy. I was convinced I was fundamentally flawed, broken beyond repair. My life felt like it was constantly operating on an emergency generator, flickering in and out, never truly stable. The scariest part? I actually started to believe this was my new normal, the inevitable price of being an adult, living in this relentless, fast-paced world. But here's the kicker. Even when things were objectively going well, career successes, stable relationships, moments of calm, that underlying sense of wrongness, that deep fatigue, persisted. It was a complete mystery, especially the constant, low-grade anxiety that nothing seemed to touch. Maybe you felt it too. That inexplicable feeling of being on the verge of tears, or the sudden, overwhelming urge to run away, even from comfortable, safe situations. Or perhaps it's the opposite, a deep numbness, a detachment so profound that nothing really touches you anymore, good or bad. You go through the motions, nodding, smiling, participating, but it feels like you're watching your own life from behind a thick pane of glass, disconnected. I vividly remember one particular morning. I had a huge presentation at work, something I'd prepared for weeks, a real opportunity. My alarm went off, and instead of the usual jolt of nervous energy, I felt nothing, just a heavy, concrete weight pinning me to the mattress. My limbs felt like lead. My mind was blank. I knew I had to get up, but my body just wouldn't respond. It was like I was paralyzed, not by fear, but by an absolute, profound exhaustion that went beyond simple sleep deprivation. I lay there, staring at the ceiling, tears silently rolling down my face, not because I was sad, but because I felt utterly, completely helpless. I called in sick, something I rarely did, and spent the entire day under a blanket, unable to move, unable to think, just existing in a haze of internal silence. That day, I truly believed I was cracking up, that my mind had finally given up. This is it, I thought. I'm having a breakdown. This constant feeling of being out of place, like you don't quite belong or fit in, even in familiar environments. It's all connected. And the most confusing part? When good things happened, when I should have felt happy, sometimes my body would just shut down. A heavy feeling, a sudden fatigue, a strange flatness. It was like my system couldn't handle joy. All of these, to me, felt like different faces of the same underlying anxiety that I was desperately trying to fight. What I didn't know, what no therapist, no self-help book, no doctor had ever explained to me in a way that truly clicked, is that all of this wasn't purely psychological. It's not just anxiety that you can talk your way out of. It's not just stress that you can manage with a to-do list. And it's certainly not laziness or a lack of willpower. It wasn't a character flaw, or a weakness, or a lack of mental fortitude. It was physiological. It was my nervous system, a complex, ancient part of my biology, stuck in a relentless survival mode. For years, I had been operating with my foot on the gas pedal and the brake simultaneously. My body was screaming for help, using a language I didn't understand, and I was completely deaf to its pleas, misinterpreting every signal as a personal failing. This is the truth no one warns you about. The body often knows and reacts before the mind even comprehends the full extent of the stress or trauma. We intellectualize, we push through, we rationalize, we ignore, but our primitive nervous system responds first, often initiating a shutdown as a last resort, even when you're conscious. Mind perceives life as going right. This is that dreaded emotional shutdown mode. And this realization changed everything for me. When your body decides you're not safe, nothing else will truly work to make you feel better. Because you've been fighting anxiety all wrong. The master key to truly calming your system down isn't in your head. It's within your vagus nerve. We talk a lot about fight or flight, don't we? It's drilled into us. When faced with danger, we either confront it head-on or run from it. And for a long time, I thought that was the extent of it. But there's a third, often misunderstood, and profoundly impactful response: freeze. And that's precisely where I was trapped, unknowingly, for so long. Imagine a gazelle in the wild. When it senses a predator, its body floods with adrenaline, preparing to run. But if escape isn't possible, sometimes to protect itself from a painful attack, or to increase its chances of survival by being overlooked, it will go completely still, playing dead. Its body goes numb, its metabolism slows, it literally disconnects to minimize the impact of the trauma. My body, perceiving an endless, unrelenting threat, be it chronic stress from an overwhelming job, unresolved past experiences, a demanding family dynamic, or even just the constant bombardment of information in our modern world, had hit this emergency brake. It was trying to conserve every ounce of energy because it genuinely believed it was in constant existential danger. This wasn't a conscious choice. It was an automatic, primitive, biological mechanism. This isn't laziness or lack of motivation. It's burnout, the ultimate consequence of a nervous system pushed beyond its limits, forced into a state of profound physiological shutdown. It's like an alarm bell that went off years ago and has never, ever stopped ringing. And that feeling of being out of place, or that deep sense of wrongness, even when life seems fine, it's often a symptom of this internal disconnect, a sense of not being fully present or grounded in your own body, because your system is always scanning for danger, making you feel unsafe even in safe spaces. Your body, in its wisdom, is trying to protect you by keeping you ready for anything, but in doing so, it isolates you from the richness of life. And guess what's heavily involved in all of this, especially in the emotional shutdown that is freeze, and that pervasive, unshakable anxiety? Your vagus nerve, the master key to unlocking your system. You see, you are not weak. You are not lazy. You are not broken. Your body, your brilliant ancient body, has simply never learned how to feel truly safe in the world you currently inhabit. Think about it like this. Your nervous system is constantly scanning your environment, both inside and out, for signs of safety or danger. It's like a finely tuned security system running 24/7. But if that system has been repeatedly tripped, or if it's never been taught on a fundamental level that the danger has passed, it remains on high alert. It's exhausting. Imagine living in a house where the fire alarm is constantly blaring, even though there's no fire. You'd be on edge, irritable, unable to relax, your muscles perpetually tense, your heart pounding. Eventually, you'd probably become numb to the sound, but your body would still be pumping out stress hormones, ready to flee at a moment's notice, even as you try to go about your daily life. That's your nervous system in chronic freeze, fight, or flight. This is why you feel out of place. Your internal security system is screaming danger, even when your rational mind tells you everything is fine. You're not grounded in the present, because a part of you is still trying to survive a past threat, or an accumulated load of stress that your system couldn't process. And until that underlying physiological state changes, your efforts to calm down, your endless battle with anxiety, will always hit a wall. This is where your vagus nerve comes in. It's the superhighway that carries signals between your brain and your body, playing a crucial role in your emotional regulation, digestion, heart rate, and literally your capacity to feel safe. When it goes into survival lockdown, specifically that dorsal vagal freeze response, it creates this profound emotional shutdown and chronic anxiety. And nothing else will truly work because it's responsible for bringing your body back to a state of calm, connection, and emotional availability. This isn't your fault. Our modern lives are often a recipe for this kind of dysregulation. We're constantly bombarded with information, expected to be on 24/7s, rarely given true downtime. We're taught to push through, to ignore our body's signals, to intellectualize our feelings instead of truly feeling and processing them. We accumulate tiny, everyday stresses, little micro-traumas that pile up without ever being fully processed or released. And if you've experienced bigger, more impactful traumas, then your system is even more primed to stay in this protective, hyper-vigilant state. It makes perfect sense. Your body is doing exactly what it was designed to do: protect you. The only problem is, it's still operating as if the saber-toothed tiger is just around the corner, even when you're just trying to pay your bills or reply to an email in the safety of your home, here in Ponta Grossa or anywhere in the world. The key, then, isn't to fix your mind, or to think positive, or to simply relax. The key is to help your body, on a physiological level, understand that it is now safe, to gently, patiently, and consistently send signals of safety to that deeply intelligent, protective nervous system. Because when your body believes it's unsafe, no amount of positive thinking or self-talk can override that primal programming. You've been fighting anxiety with the wrong tools. You need to reset the communication lines, and that fundamentally starts with gently, but deliberately, unlocking and toning your vagus nerve. The first thing that helped me, the very first crack in that concrete wall of exhaustion and apathy, was realizing it wasn't my mind that needed to relax. It was my body that needed to feel safe. And the biggest mistake I, and almost everyone else, made when trying to calm down or feel right was trying to force it. We try to deep breathe aggressively, to meditate when our mind is racing, to tell ourselves just relax as if it's a simple command. We try to intellectualize why we feel out of place, to change our thoughts, hoping our feelings will magically follow. But when your body is physiologically wired for survival, telling your mind to calm down is like telling a car engine to stop racing when the accelerator is still floored. It doesn't work. In fact, it often creates more tension, more frustration, and deeper self-blame. The key, the truly transformative secret, lies in addressing the body directly, not just the mind. This is about recognizing that your nervous system, specifically your autonomic nervous system, is a part of your body that literally never rests. It's constantly regulating your heartbeat, your breathing, your digestion, your temperature, and critically, your sense of safety. If it's stuck in overdrive, or worse, in an emotional shutdown mode via the dorsal vagal response, it's relentlessly burning you out from the inside, causing that deep, unshakable sense that something is wrong, even when life seems fine. This is where you need to deliberately, gently, and consistently force, in the kindest way possible, your vagus nerve back online, because it holds the master key to your internal calm. The simplest thing I started doing, the very first step to resetting my vagus nerve and truly unlocking my body from this survival lockdown and emotional shutdown, was a somatic healing practice so small, so seemingly insignificant, yet so profoundly powerful that it almost feels silly to describe it. But trust me on this. I started by just placing my hands on my body. One hand over my heart, the other over my lower belly, just below my navel. And then I would simply breathe. Not a deep, forced breath, not a breath aimed at relaxing or fixing anything. Just a gentle, soft breath. I would simply feel the yaw, weight of my hands on my skin. Feel the gentle rise and fall of my chest and belly with each inhale and exhale. And I would silently say to myself, or even out loud in a whisper, I'm here. You're here. We're here together. We're safe. This wasn't about trying to make the anxiety disappear. It wasn't about forcing myself into a state of calm. It was about noticing the gentle warmth of my hands, noticing the subtle movement of my breath. It's a direct, visceral message to your vagus nerve and your entire nervous system. Through that gentle, intentional touch and conscious, soft breath, you're telling your body, I'm paying attention. I'm connected. You're allowed to be here. You're allowed to rest now. It's a tiny shift, but it's a direct message to your nervous system. You can start to downregulate. You can start to come out of that high alert state. You can begin to feel yourself, truly feel your body, perhaps for the first time in a very long time. This is how you begin to feel truly in place, by helping your body find its internal sense of safety. This isn't a quick fix, a magic pill, but it's a foundational step, a tiny seed of safety planted in a nervous system that has been starved of it. Do it for 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes. Do it when you feel overwhelmed or when you're just sitting on the couch. Just touch, just breathe, just notice. This is the first step in understanding the mysterious language your body has been speaking to you all along, and how to gently but powerfully reset your vagus nerve and pull yourself out of emotional shutdown, finally giving you the master key to calm. If you stayed until now, if these words resonated deeply within you, then probably your body has also been waiting to hear this for a very, very long time. It's been sending you signals, trying to communicate in the only language it knows: sensations, emotions, physical symptoms, and finally, maybe, you're starting to understand. This isn't the end of your journey. It's just the beginning of a profound reconnection with yourself. If this made sense, if a tiny spark of recognition flickered within you, imagine what else you're going to discover about your own incredible, resilient body in the next videos. There is so much that no one has ever told you about your nervous system, about trauma, about somatic healing, about why your vagus nerve might be stuck in a defensive state, leading to emotional shutdown mode and chronic anxiety, and how it impacts why you feel the way you feel, why you sometimes feel so utterly out of place, and why even when life is going right, everything can still feel so deeply wrong. The truth is, your body knows, and I want to help you understand all of it, because you deserve to feel safe, to feel alive, to feel truly at home in your own skin. Again, comment below if your body has also been sending you mysterious signals that you didn't understand until now, or if you recognize this emotional shutdown mode or constant anxiety in yourself. I'd love to hear your story.